So when I started working the job I'm working right now, which is basically just being like a technician, handyman type of guy, like doing home connection, basically like connecting people to like the Wi-Fi network. It sounds easy because it sounds like it's easy because you think, oh, I just connecting a Wi-Fi network. No, it's not easy at all. Like you have to like there's a lot of physical and manual labor involved. But long story short, for the first time in my life, I actually started to make, kind of a little bit of money. Nothing too serious, nothing drastic, nothing like it was pretty life changing to me, but nothing really life changing, right? So I went and kind of told let's say my friends, right? So these people I knew. I didn't exactly tell them how much I was making anyway, but I just told them like, wow, look at this hustle that I've kind of found out about, and it's pretty cool. Like you should try it. And usually the results are always very disappointing because when you tell these people, when you pitch the ideas to them, they'll kind of be like, it's kind of a good idea. It makes sense. But once it comes to actually putting in the work, like once I actually reach the time to actually do what is required, right, to get to that next level, they just like they absolutely don't like they don't even try, literally. And the thing also is a lot of times these people that you are trying to, you know, tell these pitch these ideas to like me, they usually need money as well, right? So like this, my friends, they were basically broke as well. It's not like they were rich by any means. Broke too, like we're all hustling together, we're all trying to make it and find ways to make money or whatever. So I just was like, oh, I found this thing, it's pretty cool, like they should try it as well. And it's crazy because it will start to feel like a drag. It will start to feel like you are forcing them to do it. And at the end of the day, you like both of you will just end up having resentment for each other. You'll be mad at that your friend that he's not taking this thing seriously, right? And he's not like actually making the progress he could. And your friend would actually be mad at you that you're basically disturbing him and bossing him around if he's a she. Another good example, like I've seen this happen so many different times in so many different domains. Another example too also is when I was in school back then. My housemates I used to live with, I'll be doing my push-ups and doing my workouts and whatever, and they'll be like, oh, it's really good to work out. I want to work out also and get in shape. And it's the exact same thing. They just like the idea, they just like the concept. But once it actually comes to putting in the work, right? It's like once I'm going to work out and it's like, all right, so let's go work out, let's go on a run. They just like you can just see the resistance just comes and they're not willing to put in the effort, and at the end of the day, both of you will end up hating each other. Both of you will end up resenting each other because you would feel annoyed that I'm trying to actually help you. Because usually the friend you're trying to help, they're the one that is like in the worse off position because you're literally the fat fuck here. You're literally the skinny guy. Like I'm trying to help you stop being fat or gain muscle or whatever. So why are you slacking on this? And they will end up hating you because they will feel like, oh, you're bossing them around. Like maybe they're sleeping or they're just sitting around scrolling on your phone or doing whatever random stuff. And you'll be like, let's go for a run. Like you are disturbing their peace, you're disturbing their privacy, like you're disturbing them. So the little lesson I learned from that whole experience, I can keep giving different examples, but at least I hope you get the points by now. It's just like you should stop trying to tell people about your stuff. Like stop trying to get people to be better. Stop trying to improve people. Like to me, it's just never what it's just never what's like. If you're going to even try to force anybody, maybe, just maybe, the only person I might permit you is just like your younger siblings, and that's like your blood siblings, and especially if they are under 18, right? So as long as they are like still basically children, that's teenagers and below, you can basically still try to force your will and tell them, you're the one in the worst position, do this, and your actual life will actually get better. But a lot of times, even when you even do it like that, it's still like the exact same thing. But if the person is over 18 years old, like if the person is like an adult, so let's just say over 20, right? The person is an adult, knows his left from his right, knows like, it usually just feels pointless because at the end of the day, people will still do whatever they feel is comfortable to do, what they want to do. And it's like, you should never believe their cries, almost like never believe their cries or their talk or their complaints or whatever, because it's never just legit. It's like they just want to talk about their problems rather than fix it. And I'm not saying this to like be judgmental, like, oh, look, I'm better than you, and oh, like, because First of all, I'm still like this in a lot of ways. There are a lot of things that people tell me that, I just, maybe I have this problem and I complain about it. And person, someone is like, this is literally the solution. It's like, I almost just want to express this problem rather than actually solve it. So this person trying to boss me around and tell me like, oh, this is how to solve your problem. You're the one with the problem. Why are you not trying to? So like, the resentment starts to build up there. So I'm not trying to say this from like a morally high points like, oh, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm smart, you're dull, I'm the one that is superior and you're inferior. Like, you should listen to me. It's just like, don't even bother disturbing anybody. Like, basically, just mind your business. The new mantra I have for myself now is face your fronts, mind your business. That's it. Literally, face your fronts and mind your business. Because a lot of times, the thing is like, there's this, what do you call it? There's this proverb or quote or whatever that you can force a horse to go to the stream, but you can't force the horse to drink water. And I think that's extremely true, right? So it's the same thing. It's like somebody that is maybe skinny, for example. You can force the person to like, follow you on the workouts and eat the right things or do whatever. But you just can't force the person to gain muscle. Like the thing about all these different things is, I'm saying this, loosely because it doesn't just have to be in terms of maybe money or career. Like, this can be just, becoming a better person as a whole. It's like, it has to be almost like a conscious decision from the person that I'm actually going to do this thing seriously, right? So that's why it's literally in the name, self-improvement, right? So it's like, because no matter how much you preach, no matter how much you encourage, no matter how much you try, no matter how much you, I don't know, whatever else you do, right? Unless the person just wakes up one day, looks themselves in the mirror, just has a conversation with themselves like, you know what, I actually want to do this thing. I'm actually going to take it seriously and, follow through to the end. Like that, the person is not going to change. That story I'll just tell you to indicate this is when I was learning this, my job, like I said, is like an handyman job. Like basically I'm a fiber technician connecting fiber networks to people's homes or buildings or whatever. But basically, we had to go for a training for it, right? So this training was about 2 weeks to 1 month, thereabouts. So during this training, I think there were like 5 or 6 of us that were learning it. And I was basically the shittier, like I was like the second to the shittiest person. Like there were 2 of us that were just really, really shit. And we're just bad and slow learners and disinterested and everything. So it was me and another guy. The other 3 guys were like actually active and agile and, what do you call it, proactive and all of that, right? So but later at first when I was going for it, honestly, it's kind of stressful, like it's like physical labor and all of that stuff, and I didn't like it at all. But after a while, after maybe like a few days of going, it's almost like I just kind of had this conversation with myself and just made this choice that, I'm actually going to learn this thing. I'm actually going to put in the work and, see where this goes, right? So I put in the work. Obviously, I was still shit and all that, but at least I was willing to try. I was willing to follow along. I was willing to, try to learn what is going on. While the other guy just not as much. He just didn't care. And the other guy even told us that, even not for his like elder brother that told him to join us to learn this thing, like honestly, like he has no business being here, right? So long story short, while we were doing that training, those 5 of us, another guy came to join us, but this guy was a teacher, like teaching in a secondary school or high school, whatever. So he couldn't follow us like every single day. He just came for like one training session, right? So 1 month later, like those of us, the 5 of us that initially started, we eventually finished the training and actually were able to go to the field to start working by ourselves, right? But actually, it was only 4 of us that went. The last guy that I said was not serious, he didn't finish. Like he didn't even try, because after we left, it's almost like there was, would I say, no motivation, because it's almost like people we started with, they have left him now. It was just the only one with our trainer that was training us. So like basically he just wasn't serious with it. Like he just didn't care, right? And the other guy that was a teacher, so this guy already had a full-time job as a teacher, and he basically didn't have time. But he came back 1 month later to still meet our trainer guy and follow him and train like separately. So eventually he was able to learn the skill and became his own, fiber installer, technician, whatever stuff. So today, this story I told you now was like good 6-7 months ago. Today now, like you would think that the first guy that joined us from the very beginning would be working and he has the skill and is his own boss, but no, it's the other way around. Rather, it's the other guy that didn't even join us from the very beginning, that didn't even really have the opportunity like the first guy that is now working. The other first guy is just whatever it is. Like the last time I heard from him, he sends me like a random link on WhatsApp and it's all those things like, oh, click this link and they will dash you free money, all those type of bullshit links, right? And it's sad that if you ask that guy, right, how is his financial life, he obviously will tell you like he's struggling, he needs money, but the opportunity to make money was literally presented. Like just learn this technique, like learn this skill, and basically you can print. But yet he declined it. So it's like at the end of the day, people would chase what they want. People would fight for what they want, right? Like this first guy, he didn't want this, so basically they didn't even try. Why the second guy, even though the opportunity wasn't as big or as close to him, he still fought for the little that was there. So it's the same thing like with your friends or family or whoever you're trying to like help or put on game or try to change. It's like people will fight for what they want. People would actually try hard for what they want, right? So maybe your friend or your girlfriend or your friend or your brother or whatever, they're like, oh, I want to go to the gym and lose weight and whatever. People that actually want to do that is, first of all, it's like a self-made decision that I'm actually going to put in the work and follow this thing to the end. And after that, it's like no matter how difficult, no matter the setbacks, no matter the things that are like basically obstacles on the road, they are still going to find every single way possible to bypass all that and get to that end result. That's just how it is. That's how it has always been. That's how it's always been. Right? Is on the other hand, these people that just don't give a fuck, right? Like they're the ones that won't try. So long story short, I don't know if what I've been saying so far has made any sense, but what I'm trying to make is maybe, for example, your friend comes and he or she is telling you like, oh, I'm going through this breakup and this relationship is so, my boyfriend or my girlfriend, she's so toxic and she's so this and she's disrespectful and she talks to like, you would think that the solution is like, okay, okay, this is how you're going to like basically create boundaries and respect yourself and call your partner out. Both of you should communicate and you should do this and do this and do this, which is true, which is actually how to solve it. But a lot of times, like I said before, they don't even want to solve the problem. So they'll just keep yapping that stuff. And once you actually start to like enforce your own perspective and beliefs and, methods and routines and things that are actually going to help them change, funny enough, they will start to hate you. And you too will start to hate them. Like the resentments will just start to build up because you would feel like I'm trying to like help you get to the next level, right? So like you're the one with your shitty boyfriend or girlfriend. So I'm trying to help you stop being with this shitty person, right? Like, why are you not cooperating? And on the other hand, they would feel like you are disturbing their own life, like you are you're pestering them, you're trying to boss them around, whatever. So it just ends up being a lose-lose situation. So if you are doing anything, right, except specifically they come to you for advice, like, hey, please help me, I need help on this, that's when it's bad. But if it's like they don't come to you, or it's just maybe like a random chat, right, there's when somebody actually needs your help, when they actually come to meet you, that please help me, versus when both of you are just randomly chatting and they just casually mention it. Like those are two different scenarios. So unless if they come to meet you like please help me, obviously help them to the best of your ability. But if they do not, it's like, bro, just don't waste your time, bro. Like don't waste your time. Just let them be. As they talk, just listen. That's interesting. Like, oh my god, I can't believe. That's crazy. Like that's basically all you do. That's literally all you do. Because once you start to think that, okay, this person has this problem, okay, let me think this is how I'm going to help him, and you start calling every day like, oh, today we're going to go and lock in, and oh, this night you make sure you do this and do this. Like you start to disturb their life because like they have their own stuff going on, so they don't need you to come into their life or whatever to start trying to add all these your modifications and whatever to it. So just let them be honest. Like just don't tell. And the worst case scenario is when they don't even come to even ask you, or they don't even mention it in the conversation. You just think maybe you just made the discovery, and because obviously that your friend, you want to share it with them. Like don't like just don't, man. Just don't waste your time. It's going to save you I'll say probably headache, hatred, resentment, anger, whatever. Like, it's just going to save you a lot of stuff, because this is stuff I've experienced myself, and every single time the answer has always remained the same. You know what it is? Face your fronts, mind your business.